So an immune boosting session. So let's start off with just standing, legs wide apart. Take your arms forward, bring them out and round. And hopefully that's going to help you lift your sternum, lift your shoulders and bring them back and behind. And bring your shoulder blades together and then relax into that. So once you've got there, once you've got into that exaggerated movement, then let yourself just come into a relaxed version. Don't hold that exaggerated posture. Let yourself relax. And at the same time, I'm going to be thinking about the pelvis. So slightly tucking your hips under, squeezing your glutes just a tiny bit to just rock your pelvis forward and up. So if your pelvis was a bowl, we don't want it to be tipping forward. We want it to be nice and level. So find where you need to be. If you're someone that generally sits with their or walks around with their pelvis tipping back, then you need to be doing the opposite. But generally, we tend to walk with our pelvis tipped forward. And actually taking our legs wide apart helps bring that focus to that part of the body and helps us set up our posture. So that's the only reason our legs are wide apart at the moment. And then from there, with that lovely relaxed shoulder stance and a nice strong pelvis, we want to be just setting up that length in the spine. So grow a little, taking the neck nice and long as well, and close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Just very slow and relaxed with your breathing. Go at your own pace. And notice how much you can expand your chest and your torso with each in-breath. And as you breathe out, allow everything to just settle and soften. So we've got strength and expansion and space on the in-breath and on the out-breath, relaxing, softening, being gentle, letting go. Let's do 3 more breaths like this. And for your last breath, take your attention to your feet. Just noticing them, noticing the pressure on the soles of your feet. And then let's gently walk the legs in. Bring your feet together. And we're going to lengthen completely through the body. So swooping the arms forward and all the way up on an in-breath. Lift yourself up onto your toes as well. I've really not angled my camera very beautifully today, have I? Look at that. You can't even see me. Good. So just lifting up, and then with your out breath, gently coming back down. So very slow, very gentle, but very powerful. Really extend as far as you possibly can. And then coming back down. Make those arm circles as wide as you can as well. So we want to be opening up the chest. You want to be expanding through the chest. So slow it down as much as you can. So the arms are going back when they come back down here. Really moving through the chest. So opening up on the back and then opening up on the front of the body when you come back down. One more. Make it big and wide. And then let's come back to our normal posture. We're going to come into a little bit of a balance here. So weight down into the left leg. Take your right over. And here we're going to be giving the lymph nodes a bit of a squeeze. So curl your foot around gently. Tuck that toe, or all the toes, around so that you get a nice stable base. There we go, legs are stable. And then we're going to bring the right hand and arm around, left hand above. Clasp your hands together and send them up towards the sky. Think about how that feels under your arms. You want to be lifting up and squeezing the palms of your hands together as tightly as you can. And at the same time, sitting down a little into that standing leg. So a little bit of a bend in your standing leg. Okay, now if this is tricky today, just do arms or just do legs. And we're holding for 5 here. 5, 4, can you lift your hands a little higher up towards the ceiling? 3, 2, and 1. Slowly uncurling the arms, uncurling the legs. Now, if you did both arms and legs, do the same again on the other side. If you did just arms or just legs, go on the opposite side with just arms or just legs again. Okay. So when you're ready, get that length in your spine as well. So we're not curling around. We're not compromising on that nice length that you just had when you were doing your in-breaths on tiptoes. And again, settle in, sit down into that leg. We really want some compression, squeezing going on right in the fold of your legs. Squeeze your thighs together as tightly as you can. Lift your hands. Lift. Oops. Keep that balance. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Uncurl. Straighten out your legs, moving forward on an inhale. And then folding forward. Take it very slowly. Reach forward and then reach towards the ground. And slowly and gently allow yourself to fold. Notice how that feels in your back, all along your back. Try and send your sit bones up towards the ceiling a little. And gently bringing your belly in towards your spine. And now relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your neck. If you're holding on to anything in your jaw or your face or your shoulders or your hands, ease off. Allow everything to soften. And take some nice easy breaths here. So we should have a little bit of compression going on around your mid region and a really lovely inversion. So lots of blood flow to the face and head, into your neck and throat. So staying low, staying in your easy forward bend, Uttanasana. Take your hands to your calves, your ankles, your feet, or the floor if you can, just in front of your feet. And staying as low as you can, trying not to come up at all. Walk your hands around to the right. If you're holding on to your legs, then just bring your hands to your right leg. So while you're doing this, try and keep your hips where they were. to begin with. So no movement in your hips, just moving your arms, moving your head and neck and torso. So over to the right, and just noticing any changes in sensation in your legs. Maybe you can feel a bit of a pull in the back of your right leg. Maybe something in the left hip. We're just turning gently over to the right side. And now we're going to walk over to the other side. So do it very slowly. Actually walk your hands across one step at a time. And again, notice what's going on with your hips. Try and keep them still. Try and keep them where they were. Still have those sit bones poking up towards the ceiling. So lots of lovely length in the backs of your legs. And try to keep that relaxed feeling in your head and neck and jaw as well. Well done. And again, a little bit of observation of any difference in sensations in your legs as you turn over to this left side now. And then let's walk back to center, back to where we came from. And walk your hands forward and come into a lovely cat-cow combination. So coming into tabletop. Cat and cow is fantastic for the immune system. Let's dip down. Now, I know you've done this so many times. So come at it from your own perspective today. What do you need from this? Think about what's happening in your throat and all along your torso as you stretch and curl and uncurl and use your breath. Okay, so if we're trying to battle things, the first point of entry is often, or usually it's respiratory, so it'll come into the mouth and nose and throat. So we're going to be bringing lots of blood flow and energy and moving things around in the throat and neck. Getting those lymph nodes being squeezed. Obviously, the lymphatic system does not have its own pump, so it relies on the muscles of the body. So what we do in yoga is with movements that we don't necessarily do in our everyday life, we're gently squeezing and releasing all these different areas and allowing the lymph to flow much more efficiently around the body. And if you are a, I want to say believer, but if you're interested in Chinese medicine and acupressure and acupuncture, the meridians of the body are incredibly important for your energy to be flowing freely around. Think of yourself as a river system or like a tree in terms of the roots and branches. And everything needs to be free and unblocked. So even though you might not be able to see energy yet, maybe one day there'll be a machine that can. In the body, just believe that it is the case that sometimes we get little blockages here and there. So keep going with your cat and cow, use your breath and go as deeply as you are able to go, as you feel like going. And if you don't feel like going deeply, then listen to your body. Last 2 rounds. Think about unblocking any little areas of blockage. And think about making yourself strong and fit. And mobilizing all your body's defenses. And coming back to neutral. This time we're coming into a balasana. So take your big toes together, take your heels away from each other and take your hips to your heels and reach forward. So stretch forward as much as you can, bringing your forehead to the mat. As you move your palms away from you, you walk your fingertips away. You might feel a little tension in the top of the back of your neck or across your back. Just go with that for a moment if you can. You can always lift your forehead and place it back down again to give yourself more space in your neck. And feel as though you are pushing your armpits down towards the mat, pushing your shoulders down towards the mat. Still breathe, consciously breathing. And then look to your hands. If you feel like staying in Balasana, stay in Balasana. If you would like to move a little more, come up into downward facing dog. So we're going to just put that weight into the hands, tuck your toes under and lift. So make this a lovely, gentle downward facing dog, taking your shoulders wide. Enjoying that sensation again of being in a little bit of an inversion or a lot of an inversion. And sending your sit bones up so that you lengthen all the way along the backs of your legs. Fingertips pressing down into the mat. And at any time, if you need to, come back into Balasana. And bring your knees down to the mat. So let's look forward now. So lift your head, look to your arms. Bring yourself into a nice, lovely, gentle plank. Taking your forearms down to the mat. So forearms come down. And then we're going to take the knees down, release the feet, and then allow your hips to come down. So Sphinx is really good for the immune system as well. So we're going to come into our Sphinx, or we're already in our Sphinx. So let your feet be relaxed behind you, but poke your toes away. So sending your toes away. Excuse me. Elbows are just level with your chest. And we're going to do that pulling thing we do in Sphinx, where you drag your elbows down and back and send your chest forward. Can you feel a stretch across your sternum when you do that? Lifting your head up, lifting your chin up. So again, we are making space in the throat, neck, around the thyroid and remnants of your thymus, right there in the base of your throat. As you breathe in, ease off a little, and as you breathe out, that's when you pull your elbows down towards your hips. And then breathe in to release. And breathe out. Almost like you are dragging, keep breathing at your own pace, dragging your elbows back and also sending your shoulder blades back as well. And down. And then let's come to rest in Makara. It looks like nothing, that asana, but it's very intense. So stack your arms one on top of the other, like a fire log. And then come to rest at your forehead. Think about trying to get as much of the front of your body onto your mat as possible. So letting yourself spread out, press down. And completely relax while you're here in this posture. Allow yourself to soften all the muscles in your body and relax. And then let's come on to our sides. So bring yourself onto your side. You can, if it's right for you, have your head in your hand, or if that's not comfortable, bring your head to rest on your arm as a pillow, or send it out in front. Do what works for you. And you might feel like you start off one way and then you want to change. So stacking your legs one on top of the other. Bring that left hand, I'm assuming you're on your right side, otherwise it's the other way around, of course. Just to give yourself a little bit of balance, because sometimes you want to topple over to the one side or the other. And we're just going to lift that top leg off and take it a little higher, take it a little higher, take it as high as you can. Squeezing up, trying not to round your body, so keeping your torso long. And then up here, let's just do some small movements. Take all of that movement from your hip. So keeping that leg up high. The leg might be starting to feel a little cool. We're taking all of that lymph out of that leg, letting it drain down. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Take your belly gently in towards your spine. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your leg back down gently. Now we're going to come over to doing the same thing on the other side. So you can just flip over if you like. I'm just going to roll around. So the same thing. Give yourself time to set up. And then we take that right leg up. Whoops. Without rolling over backwards. There we go. So we're lifting the leg first. And interesting to notice if you feel a change in temperature. Sometimes when you block off a little bit of circulation, in some asanas we do that. And in others we just change the blood flow a little. Normally we don't have our legs up like this. And towards the end of the practice today, we'll come into Viparita Kurani as well, with our legs up the wall if you can find a wall, and if not, then just in the middle of the room. We're lifting up, and then we're going to come into our little gentle movements, pulses if you like. There we go. And then let's come back down with that leg, come to lie on your front. So we're back onto our front. So make a fist with each hand, and then we're just going to put your fist just in the crease of your leg on either side. So I've got my head just off the mat, but if you want, you can rest your head down. So I want you to see if you can feel in your fist, there's major blood vessels there, just in your groin. You might be able to feel a pulse. That's great. That means you're in the right place. And we're just going to lift the legs now. So squeeze your glutes, lift your feet off the mat. And hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your legs back down and release. And bring your hands back into Makara. Do you remember which arm went on top last time? Send it to the bottom. And relax your legs. Let your ankles fluff out to the side. Completely relaxing your legs. Okay, so we're alternating a little bit. We're going to come back up to the focus being at neck and throat. So bringing your hands either side of your chest, taking your elbows behind you. We're going to come into Bhujangasana or Cobra. So look forward first. And then from there, start to engage the muscles in your feet, legs, glutes, back to lift up. And then let's gently come back down again. You can either leave your hands where they are or let them come down beside you. To rest on the floor. Okay, so now let's come into a little bit more of a stronger expression of Cobra. So lifting up, engaging everything that needs to be engaged, back of your body, and then squeezing into your arms as well. So come up to wherever is comfortable for you. Taking your shoulders down and back. So we're stretching out across the front of the body. And what that does as well is give all of our intestines and innards a little bit of a massage, a little bit of a stretch. And then as soon as we come back down, we'll have increased blood flow to that area. And then most of your immune system is in your gut. So a lot of the asanas we do around compression of the torso, around stretching and twisting, they help to stimulate the immune system as well. So bring as much movement as you like and is comfortable for you into your head and neck. And from here, we're going to push back into Balasana. So we lift and come into our nice counter pose. This time, take your arms beside you, sit down by your feet with your hands. And let's hold here for a moment. So really relax into this asana. Find your comfort, find your posture as you wish to have it, to be comfortable. And relax your head and neck. Take another 2 breaths here. Make them as slow and as deep as you can. And then we're going to come up into Janu Sirsasana. So that one more breath. And coming up. So let's come into swinging your legs around to the front. So bring your feet around, bring your legs around, legs stretched out in front of you. Janu Sirsasana, we're going to be bringing the right foot in, tucking it in as high up as you can, bringing your knee out to the side and sitting up nice and tall. Inhale up and exhale, fold forward. So we're trying to bring our forehead to our knee in Janu Sirsasana. So get as much stretch as you can from the back of your leg, pulling those toes towards your face, letting your hands do some of the work as well. And then gently just relaxing into this posture. Fold over as far as is comfortable for you. Keep a little tension in your left arm here because we want to be bringing the torso over this left leg. And with each breath, can you fold a little further? Can you get that connection between your knee and your face, knee and your nose, knee and your forehead? And if it's not a physical connection, then just a visual connection. Just look straight ahead, look down at your knee, at your shin. Think about all the muscles and tendons and ligaments that are having to move and contract and relax to allow you to do this movement. And then we're going to come out very slowly. So walk your hands. Keep that pressure in your hands as you walk up. And all the way back to sitting again, right up nice and tall. And let's swap around. So right leg coming out, left leg tucking right in. Left knee out to the side. And starting out with our torso aligned with that extended right leg. And inhale up. Exhale, fold. Folding forward. And for this side, it's the right arm that's going to be doing a little bit more work, just trying to center us over the right leg. And how's your focus doing today? Are you managing to keep your attention mainly on your breath, noticing which bits of you are stretching, which bits of you are able to relax, where you might be holding on to some tension that you don't need to be holding on to. Constantly scanning around, checking different parts of your body and seeing what they're doing, and switching bits off and on. So again, in Janu Sirsasana, we have some good compression in the tops of the legs. We have a nice rounding through the back, and hopefully we have some compression going on, massaging internal organs as well. So much going on. It just feels like we're just bending over our leg, but actually it's way more complicated than that. And then we're going to walk out of this one. So pressing into your hands, Use your arms to lift you up, but not your back. And then let's come into Baddha Konasana. And this will probably feel quite nice now after having done quite a lot with the groin, a lot with the thighs even. And so holding on, let's lift and make the shoulders broad. Nice wide shoulders. Sitting up tall as you can, the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. So that constant pressure between, not pressure, but battle, if you like, between knees pressing down, heels coming into the groin, keeping the back long, keeping the arms stretched out. So I'm holding onto my feet and pulling my shoulders away from my feet. Stretching through my arms. So we're going to be coming down into our supine postures in a minute. And so we will be finishing off here with just taking the legs out to the side. So holding on to your right foot, keeping your left foot gently in towards you where it was. And just gently lifting out. You will have to adjust your hold. So right leg out, lovely, really nice. Think about flattening that knee if you can. And think about letting your leg pull your arm away. So opening up in that shoulder. And then we're going to bring the right leg in and take the left leg out. One back and one out. It's a bit like the situation with my children in this house. I've got one in and one out at any one point in time. Very nice. So letting your leg, your foot, stretch your arm out. Lovely stretch there. Lengthen through that leg. Try not to curl your back, which is what I've just been doing. Just notice myself doing it. A nice straight back if you can. And then let's bring that leg in. All right, who's up for both legs at the same time? So back straight. And then bring that movement in. So you can do both at the same time, or one and then the other. And this, of course, then turns it into a balanced posture, which is brilliant for our minds, busy minds. You need to focus on not rolling over backwards. The nice straight back, long neck, crown of the head lifting up. And both of your legs pulling your arms away from you gently. Keeping that length in the front of the body as well. And then bring them back in. Keep them off the floor. Wrap your arms around, or your hands around, sorry, your feet, and just bring them in towards your body. So feet are off the floor, still balancing. And release. Bring your arms around your knees, bring your thighs into your chest, curl around and drop your head. Take your chin to your chest as tightly as you possibly can. Allow your back to round out, forehead to knees. And from here we come down to the mat. So bring yourself down to your mat however you wish. If you want to roll down, go ahead and roll down. If you are not in a rolling kind of mood today, just gently bring yourself down to your mat. Grab hold of those knees, give them a hug, rock from side to side. Well done. Well done with your immune practice today, immune boosting practice. Okay, now what I should have said was find a piece of wall, if you would like a piece of wall, to pop your legs up. And if you are going to find a piece of wall, then you need to take yourself as close, your bottom as close to the wall as you possibly can. And then sort of walk your legs up the wall. So you sort of start off sideways like this with your bum against the wall, and then walk your legs up so that your legs are against the wall. I'm not going to move because I don't really have any wall in here, but it's suitable. But ideally, if you have some wall, you can take yourself into this beautiful asana that allows you to completely relax your legs. Take your arms wide, press your shoulder blades gently into the mat. Think about pressing your spine into the mat as much of it as you can. And then release, relax. Relax your back, relax your arms. Let your feet be relaxed. Don't worry about pointing your toes or bringing them towards your face. Just relax your feet. Close your eyes. And notice the temperature of your feet and legs. Do they feel cool? Do they feel warm? And think about your face and head and neck. And notice how they feel. Do they feel cool or warm? So we're playing with gravity here. We're playing with blood pressure and flow and lymph. And try to notice how still you can be and which bits of your body don't feel like they can or want to be still today. Just observing. Take a deep breath right down into your belly. And as you exhale, soften through your shoulders. And again, one more nice deep, slow breath. So if you have found a piece of wall, come out of Viparita Karuni and come into a twist. So bring yourself to a space where you have space. Against a wall probably isn't going to work terribly well, but it might. And taking your arms still, well, keeping them out to the sides. Take your knees over to one side and your head over to the other. So come into your twist. And then let's come over to twisting on the other side. So head back to center first. Skim your thighs, cross your chest, over to the other side. And then bringing your head back to center first, bringing your thighs close into your chest, wrap your arms around, give yourself a hug, a little bit of a rock from side to side. So we're going to come into wind releasing posture here. Take your arms only around your right shin, pulling that leg firmly into your chest, left leg comes up, and poke your toes down towards your face, heel lifting away. And we start that slow, very mindful process, taking the leg down towards the floor. So imagine that your leg is a second hand of a lovely big clock, and each second is a tiny movement down towards the ground. What would that be? That would be 1/4 past, wouldn't it? So you're going from the o'clock to the 0:15. There we go, all the way. Nice and slow. There we go. Almost at the ground, hovering. And then start working your way back up again. Notice what you're leading from. Are you leading? Is everything happening with your hip? Or do you feel like you're leading with your toes? Or maybe your knee? What does that feel like in your leg? Where's that work happening? There we go, all the way up to the top. And then let's swap. And this is a fantastic posture for making us do a little bit of breath holding. So try not to hold your breath. So again, heel pointing away, toes towards face. Slow, gentle progress. Try and get some compression into the left side of your torso by really pulling quite firmly in on that leg. And are we there yet? Are we nearly there? Almost there. And then gently heading back up when you're ready. Nearly there, and we're nearly there with our practice today too. We're coming into Shavasana after this. Asana has been completed in its cycle. Well done. And if you've come all the way back to the top, then another opportunity to give yourself a lovely hug, squeezing in. Again, a little bit of compression into the chest, into the belly, and of course into the lymph as well. Those lymph nodes in the groin, and then releasing. Take your legs out, bring yourself into your Shavasana. So today, if you want to use a pillow or a cushion, you can pop that into your lower back or your mid back. So you have your hips and your bottom on the floor, and then pushing it down so that it comes right into the curl of your lower back. You still can place your shoulder blades on the floor, take your arms wide, and you can either cross your legs, or you can bring them so that the soles of your feet are touching each other and knees are out to the sides. Or you can come into your regular Shavasana, whatever works for you. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Now, while you're lying here in your Shavasana today, try and focus on your breath and try and make each breath deep and slow. And take it all the way around your body. Let go of any tension. Noticing which areas of your body feel more relaxed. And wherever you might be feeling any areas of discomfort, where your body's mounting a little defense, or where you've exerted recently, or where there's some old issue that's still lingering on, yet to be resolved. And take your breath to those areas, each in turn. Give it a little time. And a little space and a little attention. Soften and relax and let go. Trust that your body will heal itself when you give it all the right things that it needs, the right environment, the right space, the right thinking, the right nutrients, the right rest, and the right movement. And that won't always be to any kind of pattern. It'll be about you being intuitive and listening and figuring out what it is that you need and honoring what it is that you feel your body is telling you. And sometimes we think it's telling us something and we go ahead and do that, and then we discover that actually, no, it didn't feel like the right thing. Just go back to looking again, and that's good. Constant process of discovery and exploration and listening. The most important thing is the listening, tuning in and tapping into what's going on for you. And take a nice deep breath. And as you let it go, allow yourself to completely rest. And if you would like to stay in Shavasana, please do. If you would like to come out, gently bring yourself to lying on your right side. And if you are coming up to sitting, bring yourself up to sitting. Bring your chin to your chest. Bring your hands to heart center. And notice that stretch in the back of your head and neck and into your back, across your shoulder blades, into your mid-back and your lower back. And then release. Let go of the tension. Keep your head still, gently facing towards your hands. Take a deep breath in. And on an exhale, opening your eyes, bringing yourself back to your surroundings. Take another inhale. And on an exhale, bringing your head and face up, back to center. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining you. And I hope that your immune system is full of beans, raring to go, and helps you navigate everything you need to navigate, full of health and well-being. And I'm going to do my usual, trying to get this thing off.